Welcome to the Know Your Dane Podcast, unlocking the secrets to the Danish mentality. The purpose of this podcast is to give you, the listener, the opportunity to learn more about the Danish mentality, culture, and history. This episode topics are
1600 to 1848, action, drama, and tragedy. After Christian IV's reign, a new bloody war with Sweden commenced, the so-called Carl Gustaf War, from 1657 to 1660. During this war, Denmark, Poland, and Russia tried to strangle Sweden. During this time, Denmark lost a lot of land to Sweden, especially the richest regions in the east, together with a big part of Norway. During this period, there was a key break with the historical world order. A burgeoning attempt to construct a Danish identity and mentality happened throughout Saxo, where the subsequent kings sought to further this, despite the fact that the empire had a complex population of Danes, Norwegians, German speakers, and the northern peoples of Iceland and the Faroe Islands. From 1660 to 1848, Denmark became a regular monarchist dictatorship. It also meant a breach of cooperation between the Danish nobility and the king, who, in the wake of the catastrophic loss to Sweden, accused the nobility of having failed their country. Instead, the king allied himself with a new group, the citizens. They did not necessarily have the same privileged background as the nobility, but the king decided that the most skilled people could rise within the union, despite their backgrounds. War with Sweden again. From 1675 to 1679, Denmark and Sweden were again at war in the so-called Scanian War. After that, a relatively long period of peace followed until 1709, when Denmark was once again involved in war operations with Sweden for the following decade. Danish Imperialism. This period also saw an expansion of the Danish colonies as the country acquired Saint Jan in the Caribbean in 1718, and a few years later, Greenland was incorporated into the kingdom in 1721. The Danish capital, Copenhagen, burned in 1728 with a catastrophic loss of human life and priceless cultural treasures such as books. In 1733, Denmark purchased the island of Saint Croix from France. Also in 1733, the lords gained even more control by introducing staunsbåndet, which limited living conditions of serfs. After many years spent in poverty, there was a boom in the Danish economy due in part to the large Danish merchant navy and the exploitation of slaves in the Danish colonies. After 55 years, the staunsbåndet was finally abolished in 1788. Denmark's war fleet grew exponentially in the following years, becoming one of Europe's largest, although Denmark was good at keeping a neutral foreign policy. However, it all went wrong in 1801, when the English reached Copenhagen with Lord Nelson and attacked the Danish navy. The Royal Danish Navy in Norway is lost. Denmark remained neutral during most of the Napoleonic Wars, but when the British returned in 1807 to steal the Danish navy and its more than 200 ships, Denmark-Norway was forced to choose sides in favor of France, while Copenhagen was bombarded. In 1813, Norway fell to Sweden. However, there were also positive outcomes in the midst of all the misery. During these years, there was a renaissance in Danish art, thanks to the Golden Age painters. In 1814, the Danish Jews were given the same rights as the rest of the population, and in the same year, primary schools were established to ensure all children received 7 years of schooling. In the wake of these historic moments, the Danish mentality began to flourish. Know Your Dane, Unlocking the Secrets to the Danish Mentality, is a comprehensive guide to Danish culture. The book covers key events in Danish history from the Middle Ages until today, including a deeper look at the eternal rivalry between Denmark and Sweden, one of the most complex and dramatic relationships in history. Know Your Dane uncovers and analyzes the Danish national identity, including Danish cuisine, holiday traditions, and cultural phenomena such as the law of Jante, the concept of hygge, and how to navigate the Danes' carefully nuanced humor and social interaction. Learn more about the inner workings of the Danish welfare state, such as the 37-hour work week, gender equality, and the Danish educational system, and discover the most famous citizens of Denmark, from scientists and architects to authors, actors, and directors.
You have been listening to the Know Your Dane podcast, a Cope and Tell production. The podcast is written and produced by Danish historian Rune Edbergs.